what's up and welcome back to my channel. Now today I'm going to be giving a review for the film Alien Romulus. Now this is an alien film set between the events of Ridley Scott's 1979 Alien and James Cameron's 1986 Aliens. So it's like right between those two films. Now the film itself is about like a group of young space colonists who decide to scavenge a derelict space station that's like floating above this planet. And once they're doing that, of course they encounter like the xenomorphs, or you can say xenomorphs, and they're like face huggers and stuff like that while they're on the space station, and of course they have to escape. Now that's basically what the plot of the film itself is about. And other than that, this film was like highly anticipated, and I must admit it was like a fun ride, but it was still kind of like a letdown. There was like a bunch of stuff in here that I thought was kind of like flawed myself, and I will have some rants along the way too as well. Now this is also directed by Fede Alvarez, and the film does star Kaylee Spaney. I think that's how pronounced it. She plays like the protagonist of the film, who is known as Rain. Then you also have her brother, who is really an android, and his name is Andy, and he's played by David Johnson. I think that's how you pronounce his name. So they really are like the two main protagonists of the film. And when the film is not really focused on what's going on with them, it seems like it kind of falls apart. It's like you don't care about like the other characters that are in the film. You can tell that the other characters are there just for like filler. Like you have Tyler, and he's like Rain's ex-boyfriend, and you also have Kay, and Kay is the sister of Tyler. She has like a hidden secret within her that they don't really go into it too much. But it's like, and it was kind of seemed like it's kind of pointless for them to do this with her character. I want to say what it is, but it's like spoiler territory, so I'll just leave it at that. And then you also have I think Bajon. He's like Tyler and Kay's cousin. Then you also have like a pilot, and she's known as she's Bajon's girlfriend, because she's played by Alan Wu, I think it is. And that's basically about it. And there's like some surprises in the film. I must admit there are some surprises. So good Lord, and it's fun to think that they would do something like this, you know. But I can say like some of the things I have to touch on, and this is like spoiler territory. I like when a film does open, like at the very beginning of the film, this is like spoiler territory. Like there's like this Wayland ship that's like cruising through like a space, and it finds like the wreckage of the Nostromo, which was like exploded by Ripley at the end of the first Alien film. So I thought that was kind of cool, because you can see like pieces of like the Nostromo like ship blown apart, and you can see that Nostromo on the ship. So I thought moments like that were like awesome, and you can definitely tell that it's like fan service. And on top of that, and I can know this is all spoilers, like they actually found the actual like xenomorph, like the alien itself that Ripley blew out into space. They actually found that alien, and it's like fossilized. So I thought that was even cool too, that they actually found out. Now we get to see what happened to the alien, because I was always kind of wondering about that. What did they do with the alien? Was it just still like floating around like in space, you know, after she blew it out? But it turns out it got fossilized, and they took it on board like the derelict space station. That's where like, the young group of like space colonists go to. It's this particular space station where they took the fossilized like alien from the original film. Then there's like this other character that showed up that was from the original film. This is spoiler territory. Now I must admit it was kind of cool, but even I felt like, and he was there throughout the whole film. He was constantly there, like giving them advice and saying this and that, and you could really see him. And I think like the effects of him, from my opinion, they're kind of like cheesy and kind of off. They weren't too good, but it's still awesome that they were actually able to do this with a person that is like really like dead, because this particular person had died like years ago, but they're using like his character that he played like in the original film in this film. And but he has a different name. His name was Rook, and he was like an android in this film, and he's there kind of helping him and so, because they find him on the space station. He's like torn in half, and he's the one that kind of warns him about like the xenomorph threat and the face huggers and all that kind of stuff like that. But of course they don't really listen to him, and stuff breaks out on the space station. But I did that part that was like just like overblown. It feels like they're kind of disrespecting like the real actor that did that performance. But I'll go and say what it was. I know it's a spoiler territory. It was like Ian Holm, who played Ash. Now the same person was just like Ash, but he had like a different name. His name was Rook. So it wasn't really Ash, but it was the same android like that. And you could tell they had de-aged I ain't gonna say de-aged, but they were using like Ian Holm's likeness for this new android known as Rook. So it's basically like you were looking at Ash from the first one. And the visual effects, they were okay. It's still cool seeing him being able to do that because he's like a person that's like passed away. But I still thought it was kind of cheesy, and he was really deaf like the whole film, like always like saying stuff. Then he seems good at first, then he seems like he's bad, but I just leave it at that. But it was kind of cool seeing that, but it just kept going. It was like just so much with him that I felt like it was kind of ruining like what he did in the original film. You know, and it did look kind of cheesy. Like I felt like the visual effects probably could have been better on him, you know. But the look of the film, like the cinematography of the film, this is really like straight up like a science fiction film. I really like how it looks, and it holds up the level how like Ridley Scott's Alien film looked. It really looks like that with like a mixture of like James Cameron's like aliens mixed in it too, like far as like the weapons go and certain moments. Now there were also other things I thought was kind of off about the film too, like some of the lines that they were saying in the film. I thought like, oh God, why did they say something like that? And it was lines that the actors and actresses like used like in the previous films. It just seemed kind of cheesy hearing them like use them here, like some of the lines you like get away from her, you all that kind of stuff. It just seemed kind of like something was kind of off about it. But still, like I said, the bad thing about the film, I do feel like that some of the characters were like wasted. Like they didn't really go into the depth of them enough, and the way they kept picking on like the android Andy, well, it was really just that one character, that one guy that was picking on him. It just felt like, you know, they just felt like wasted. And the story at times, it seems like it's far-fetched because they don't really go into it enough of why they really choose to go to the space station. But I thought Rain was kind of cool and everything. She's kind of like laid back and stuff like that. And I even thought you already did touch on that the dialogue was kind of like cheesy and kind of bad. Some of the stuff they were saying. And at times, I must admit, felt like I didn't understand what they were saying. Like their dialogue, I saw this in IMAX too. And at times, you do notice that this was... when you really get a good look at it, it does feel like this was made for like television. Because I know originally this particular film was made to debut, I think, on Hulu or FX. I think it's FX, if I'm not mistaken. But they chose to turn it around. Disney chose to turn it around and give it a theatrical release. I must admit, at times you do see that those kind of things in the film where you could tell like this was like made to be like on like TV or something. You could just kind of notice it. And the ending, oh my God, I couldn't believe this. That ending, I just leave it at that. I couldn't believe what they did with the ending. Like, oh, I want to touch on it more, but I just leave it at that for people, you know, who haven't seen it yet. But it kind of has like a alien resurrection type vibe. It has kind of like a similar ending to kind of that. I just leave it at that. It was like, whoa, I couldn't believe they did something like that. And it kind of was, even that was kind of like a turn off for me. That's what kind of, oh, it just kind of like took it down. I was like, but I guess some people would be into that. But overall, no joke now, it was still like a fun film. It had like a slow burn, like it started slow, but the film itself was still like fun. It was like awesome action sequences, especially like a lot of the moments with like the face huggers. I don't think they have ever done like the face huggers like this in other alien films. You get like a lot of time with them just dealing with like fake face huggers. They had to sneak by them and so on and everything, and it's very creepy and intense. You can see you get to see the face huggers like crawling around doing their own thing, like, you know, just like in their own environment. So I thought that was kind of cool too. The action scenes were like awesome and well done. It had some scary moments. It was actually a couple moments that made me like kind of like jump, you know. It was like real tense. And like I said, the film itself looks like awesome and everything. It's pretty cool. And there are some cool like references to, like I said, the original Alien, like where you get set in the Nostromo in pieces. I thought that was so cool. And other things. So they found like the original aliens fossilized and stuff like that. So all that kind of stuff was cool. They even had it like hanging up. You could see it like hanging up in the thing. I just leave it at that. But overall, it was a solid film. I believe this would be like a cool film for new fans of like the Alien franchise to get in. I'm sure a lot of them would definitely get into it. So it's like bloody and gory. It is like a straight up horror film, but it is definitely like a science fiction film too as well. But in the end, Alien Romulus, I'm gonna give it a C+. Like I said, I feel like it's kind of better than that, but it was just like a lot of things in it that it just wouldn't really take off, you know. But I still think it was like a solid effort. I would definitely recommend watching it if you're like a fan of the Alien franchise, you know. So I'm giving Alien Romulus, I'm giving this a C+. Please leave a comment and subscribe too as well.